Okay.
So it is 7:02, Thursday, November 9th, call the meeting to order. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Flores?
Here.
Gonzalez? Hussein? Jost? Here. Mason? Here. Pelletier? Here. Guzzo? Here. Next, public comments, agenda items only, it's just us here. So, do I make a motion and then we mention that there are questions?
No, I will do
Okay.
that first.
Thank you.
So you do have two copies of, or you have a copy of the minutes from October 12th and a copy of the minutes from our meeting on Saturday.
For some reason I have three.
Those are corrections. Lima had found a few places where Tamara's name was still in the yeses for some votes last month when she wasn't here, so I corrected those on the October 12th minutes. And then the November 4th minutes, there was a comma missing and a period in one section. So those are the only two corrections, so unless there's anything that I'll make the motion.
Okay.
And then, yeah, everyone's
So I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. Please note which ones are on the consent agenda. Gonzalez?
Did she say I? Oh.
Yes, sorry. Hussein?
Yes.
Jost?
Yes.
Mason? Yes. Pelletier, yes. Guzzo?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
All right, President's report, I just want to share that I received so many comments about, the murder mystery. People really loved that, and so kudos to the staff for putting on such a great event. And I want to thank the board for a really, thoughtful and engaging, board retreat this past Saturday. I think, I feel, fortunate that we all share a really common view that we all, are pro-library and want to do what we can to support it and preserve it, so thank you all, okay, so, keeping in mind, we did, as part of the consent agenda, we did just approve the, October financial statements, so I don't think there's anything else for finance, financial statements are approved. Facilities, there's some continued updates that we will review under unfinished business. Policy, you guys just presented some policies last month, right? So you guys are good for a little bit. So we'll move right into staff reports. Is there anything you want to highlight or add?
I don't think there's anything additional that I need to add or whatever, unless anyone has any questions about my report or any of the departmental reports.
Love that you were asked to serve on the board.
Yes.
I think that's awesome.
I know how many committees are awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
It'll be so fun.
It'll be fun, so, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I don't know if any of you guys, anyone said anything about the murder mystery event, but people are just, they're really.
We got a lot of positive comments
Good,
about it.
good,
Yeah.
it just
It
seemed
was
really,
really-
really fun, and it's
Yeah.
just,
Staff seemed to have a good time
Good.
putting it
That's
together
nice.
and stuff like that, so, yeah. Someone said that next time I have to be the victim.
okay. Yeah.
I said, well, that'll be good. I'm not a very good actress, so I can lay on the floor and play dead, and it'll be fine.
But I thought it was cool that someone asked, are these professional?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Good job.
yeah, people definitely want us to do it again, so.
How often will you meet with the Chamber of Commerce, do you know?
There's 6 meetings that I'm required to go to, and then depending on whatever else I may be involved in and stuff like that, but they meet bi-monthly.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one will be, they'll meet right before the chamber, the holiday dinner is December 5th, but the board meets just prior to that, so that'll be my first meeting, is
Okay.
December 5th, so, yeah.
Any other questions for Pam? So with the, actually, I did have a question. So the new elevator will have generator backup, or?
No, we wanted to, if the elevator isn't backed up by a generator or some alternate power source, when the power goes out, you have to have different mechanism in the elevator. So we need to determine if we need to have that mechanism in the elevator or if the generator,
I see.
it covers that. And so we were almost 100% sure that it did not, because I knew when we replaced it, we didn't really add anything to, what the old generator could handle, even though this one has some more capabilities, but it is not connected to the generator, so we know that, going forward, what we have to do in terms of some of the mechanics of the functioning of that elevator. That's some kind of safety feature, I guess.
Gotcha. Okay. Any other questions for Pam?
I have to ask about Impact Technology. How, in this day where all prices are going up, are they able to cut $1,000 out? Like, what,
Well,
are we getting less, or?
No, we're not getting less. I think that they, the increases that they had put in place for the past couple of years were within what was in the contract and the very fine print, but they were very high, like 15% and that kind of thing. So they were able to, and I don't know if when we first went with them, if they looked at, oftentimes a lot of places will give different pricing to like government entities, that kind of thing, and I don't think that's something we ever got with even the first time around, even though it was way less when we first went with them than what we're paying now. So they also were able to give us some special deals because they've got some new equipment, so we are getting new equipment for, we're getting 5 new units at different places throughout the library. So they were just able to get some economies of scale, pricing savings that they got from Kyocera, they were able to pass on to us and that kind of thing. So, and then the other good thing is that they, in our contract, it says that we will not, so we're holding steady for 2 years. They're keeping the cost flat. And then for the last 3 years of the 5-year contract, it is written in our current the contract I just signed that said increases could not be more than 7% each year. So we'll at least be, we'll get a little bit less. So yeah, who knows? As is the case with so many of these kinds of things, the price is not the price until you ask or until the contract is signed, right? It's like, we get this a lot with like database vendors saying, we can't pay this. They're like, okay, we'll pay this. So it's kind of like, it's very difficult to kind of know what something truly costs because there's so many differences in these contractual agreements. So I'm just happy that they were able to come down so much. It will save us $11,000. No, actually, they weren't. They were because we were looking, and they knew that we were looking at other vendors, but they did come in the lowest, and it makes it easier because we're already working with them, so that some of that. There's still some things we have to do because they are swapping out some of the units, but the disruption will be less because we are staying with them, so that will be good too. But like I said, it will save us $11,000.
Well,
It adds up.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so we'll move on to unfinished business, exterior renovation maintenance update.
Basically, just we're done, as I mentioned in, I think it was my report. The only thing we're waiting for now is the blinds, which have been ordered. So they're going to be white. 3% obesity, if you need to know any of that. I picked them out the other day, Karina was helping me, and so I'm hoping those should be in. They told us it would be about a 4 to 6 week lead time, but they think closer to 4. So hopefully, within the next couple of weeks, those will be installed, and then everything is finished with this go-round of building improvements. So, and, they're already on track. They're getting all the stuff ready for the elevator stuff, ordering the parts they need to order. I just was looking at the interior designs, and so I have to pick out the laminates and those kinds of things. So that'll be fun.
Just another day at the office.
The fun part, right? I mean, I can't wait till the inside of that elevator is redone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're moving along with that right now. I think next year we'll have to kind of see when everything, said and done with the elevator, what monies we still have. I know the board approved a little bit higher levy request, so that will be good. It gives us a little bit of wiggle room to do maybe another project. We've been talking about potentially maybe redoing the front porch and the walkways all around there. That would be a good kind of in between, wouldn't be exorbitant, but, because we'll have anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 that won't be spent on the elevator that we can then use for some other things. So we've thought of a few things. I was talking to Jason the other day about, kind of preparation for the elevator stuff, but part of what came out of that is the way that the alarm system is currently set up with the elevator has been very cobbled together, shocking no one, of course. And so basically he told me, he goes, I worry about these things so you don't have to, but he says, I would not be doing my job if I didn't tell you. They are having a hard time, he is having a hard time finding an alarm company to come out and work with us and without redoing our complete alarm system to get the elevator alarm part working. So he doesn't anticipate that we won't be able to do this, but one of the things that this then made us realize as we were talking it through, and it's not really on our facility assessment, and it probably should have been. I don't have that in front of me, so I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't that. We probably do need to redo the entire alarm system in the building, so that may be, and that's probably anywhere from $75,000 to $100,000. So obviously that's not something we're going to do next year, but that might have to be squeezed in there before then we move on to the bathrooms or something like that, depending on how our finances look over the next few years. So just something to keep in mind as we start talking next year about planned improvements over the next few years after the elevator. So and he's absolutely right. We have had numerous problems with the alarm system over the years. It's been very difficult to get anyone out here to service it. We have alarms or sensors in areas that companies won't even go up to anymore. Like there's some alarms, and I don't know why this wasn't an issue when they did the renovation on the main floor, but there's sensors that are in the roof, and we've had a couple of alarm companies that say we won't even go up there and look at those sensors because your floor in your attic isn't done. It's open. So, they would have to walk on the joists and stuff like that. And it's just been really, really difficult. And we have trouble alarms, and we have fire alarms, and we have trouble alarms as well. And so we've had a lot of problems with the alarms over the years, and just, that they go off at odd times and different things like that. So it's been very difficult to have anyone come out and service them, blah, blah, blah. So it's probably true that its time has come for us to think about doing that, but obviously that will be a going out to bid thing, that whole process. So like I said, just to kind of keep it on your radar as we talk starting next year about what the 2025 projects will be. So.
And it can wait? It wouldn't make sense to do it with the elevator?
Well, it would make
be
sense to do it with the
savings?
elevator, but we didn't budget for it.
Okay.
And so we would have to look at the budget, and we can certainly do that if that's something that, a couple things that would have to happen. A, we already have all the work slated to start in February.
Right.
because of the cost of this, we would have to go out for bid. And, I mean, the whole going out for
All
bid
the
process
time.
and everything
Oh,
is,
okay.
is anywhere from 3 to 6 months, depending on, you know, what work you're having done. So that would push all of that work back. Which, because Jason and I did talk about that as well, and, you know, ideally, you know, in a perfect world, yes, it would have made sense to do that, you know, prior to, I mean, ideally, in a perfect world, it would have made sense to do it when they did the main floor renovation in 2014, 2015. Obviously, you know, I mean, there were other financial considerations at that time as well, so I'm sure that was not.
The priority.
Yeah, and they were working, you know, they didn't have a construction management firm, we didn't have a construction management firm in the way that SMC is when working with us, it was more of a general contractor, and I know Deborah and Kevin, I think, did a lot of what, they kind of acted as the construction managers, which is fine, I guess it saved us some money, but, you know, it's like you also don't know what you don't know,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you don't have that same level of expertise that we've been able to get through, you know, SMC and that kind of thing. So, you know, I mean, as with all of this stuff, we're trying to do things together that make the most sense together. You know, understanding that we're also dealing with the financial realities of, you know, we've got to make sure we've got money to do these things. And we're just gonna, it's just the nature of the beast, right? Everything is gonna be piecemeal because we're not gonna get, you know, $5 million to redo everything in the building that needs to be redone, so.
Okay.
I hate to bring something up that's a little bit random, but the agenda for the November 4th meeting has been marked as not present.
And then if you read down
Oh, is that
further,
the-
it
okay, got it,
indicates
got it,
when you
got it.
came in,
Got
that's
it, got it.
technically
Yeah,
our
I was
rules
like,
to do the
that's not
minutes.
right.
Because you weren't here during
Yeah,
roll
yeah,
call,
yeah.
so that's why.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you,
that-
thank you,
that's- Yeah, that's how you're
Wait a
supposed to do
minute,
it,
I liked, I enjoyed it.
All right, next up, under unfinished business is director annual evaluation, so we will get to that under executive session. So, under new business, so everyone should have a copy of the interlibrary loans policy, so I'll open it up and then we'll, do the discussion period. So I'll make a motion to approve the, interlibrary loans policy.
I'll second.
So minimal
Yes,
changes,
so
so-
basically, for a long, long time, the interlibrary loan policy, the practice here at Warren Grove had been to, so this is, when we're talking about interlibrary loan, we're talking about things that are coming from libraries outside of CCS, okay? Before we joined CCS, that was everything that was outside of the library, but for a long time, our practice had been, we would allow one renewal. We would tell people we would renew something for 1 week, and then we would have to go on to OCLC, the software, this is how we do this, to request a renewal from the loaning library. And so we said, you got one renewal unless the loaning library said no, you know, it has to come back. And that was just our practice, for whatever reason they've been doing it. And obviously, we don't limit that any longer. There's automatic renewals of up to 2 or 3 times, whatever those, you know, with our, now that most things are gotten through the CCS consortium. But a couple of the managers had asked me, you know, why are we still doing this with the interlibrary loan? I'm like, well, I don't know, I don't care. I mean, you know, like the answer that I hate is like, oh, because we've always done it that way, but that was really why, you know, we were doing it. So basically, the change in the interlibrary loan policy just says, it eliminates that you get one renewal, and it just says, whatever the loaning library will do, that's how many times. So if you've got a library that says, you know what, we'll renew this 5 times, we'll renew it 5 times. Or if they say, nope, sorry, no renewals, you've got to send it back, then that's what it is, so. And that's all that this change does, it's just, it, you know, removes that arbitrary and you know, kind of meaningless limit, and just said, you know, and especially now where, I think 98% of holds are filled from within CCS
Yeah.
for us and stuff, so I mean, it really is, has very minimal, you know, kind of day-to-day impact.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Can you vote on the library loan, interlibrary loan policy? Hussein?
Yes.
Joes?
Yes.
Teresa J?
Yes.
Pelletier, yes. Puzo?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2023-02, resolution to transfer funds from Wintrust operating account to Fifth Third operating account to the amount of $154,600.
I'll second.
So as I indicated in my notes, which, let me know if you found those helpful or not helpful, like I said,
Yes,
I.
they
are
okay.
very
They are
helpful.
helpful.
This is a way so that I kind of learned how to do it when I was still at Carroll Stream as the assistant director. And when I was here the first time, I had started doing this for the board, and I actually was told to stop. So that's why, that's why I wanted to make sure that you guys still found it helpful and suggested motions, so whatever, that's good. So as I indicated in my notes to you, we found out just the other day, which is the very first time this has ever come up, is that a condition of the loan for the YS renovation was that we maintain at least one account at Fifth Third. So, yeah, I again, not, I know we're being recorded, but I've been very unimpressed with Fifth Third. This is just one more issue. So anyway, the amount that I'm asking to transfer back into Fifth Third from Wintrust is the actual amount that we spend annually on the loan document, between the principal and the interest. So rather than having to do this once a month or something like that, I'm asking the board to just, let's do it. I mean, we've got the funds to do it,
Yes.
all at once, and then I don't have to think about it till, towards the end of next year again. So,
How long do we estimate it will take to pay off the?
the loan will be paid off by 2027. Yeah, so.
I don't know, I figured it was gonna be longer.
It's pretty quick,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
It's
know,
pretty
you're right.
aggressive. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so let's vote on that. Jost?
Yes.
Mason-Jack?
Yes.
Pelletier, yes. Puzo?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Hussein?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so we, will move into, executive session. So, I'll make a motion to move into executive session for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body as allowed for 5 ILCS 122C1.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Less.
Bless you.
I'm gonna vote on that, don't we?
Yes.
Yep, hold on.
You're fine.
Okay, Mason-Jack?
Yes.
Pelletier, yes. Puzo?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Hussein?
Yes.
Jost?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so it is 7:47, we'll make a motion to go back into open session.
Mason-Jack?
Yes, here.
Pelletier, here. Puzo?
Here.
Flores?
Here.
Gonzalez?
Here.
Hussein?
Here.
Jost?
All right, so, vote on items discussed in executive session if necessary, so we will, revisit that next month. Communication, no, right? Nothing this month. Okay, so public comments, non-agenda items, it is still just us here. I know that, I don't know why. So it is 7:48. Meeting adjourned. Our next meeting will be September 14th, right? Yes. Thank you, everyone. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Jamie, yeah.